At the present time, there's a general feeling that young people are disillusioned with the government and politics in general. These are some comments from young people in London.
I don't think any government does anything for young people. They're not geared toward young people.
Would a Tory government change make any difference from the present one?
No, because they all start off with these great ideas. They say, oh, it's going to be this and it's going to be that. And it's been the same, like, every government that's got in.
Do you think MPs accurately represent their people?
No, I think they're very corrupt, in a sense. I mean, you've only got to look at the papers and see what kind of deals they get up to.
I don't know, no matter what government's in it, doesn't seem to be able to do anything for the ordinary people in the street. It just seems to be able to muck up their lives and put more money in their pockets.
Well, I'd like to see a lot of changes, but, you know, I don't think that change would come, really.
So, are these changes going to come? In the studio, we've got The Clash and Joan Lester, MP for Eton and Slough and chairman of the Labour Party. Do MPs realise the animosity that is felt about them by many young people?
I wouldn't have called an animosity. I would have called the few people that were interviewed certainly disillusioned and rather disinterested in the political scene. I think that's true, yes.
Joe, do you reckon the feelings that are put across by those people that accurately represent all the people, young people?
Well, I think most of the young people, just because it's so remote from the mechanics of government, you don't feel part of it, like you can affect it or change it in any way. You just...
How have you tried?
Well, you learn in school about how it works, right? Mm-hmm. Well, at least I did.
Yeah.
Right? I said I've forgotten. But anyway, I learnt once how it works.
Yeah.
And you just think it's so boring, it just doesn't interest you. Like, you stand up for Parliament and people get elected and all the parties look the same and it just seems like a big mess and you just feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, I'd rather go and hear a good record, you know.
Paul, do you see any changes coming in the future?
What, political changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see things getting much worse than they are. I mean, like, generally you've got the fascists on one side, rising, and, well, you've got sort of a Communist Party, which nothing much seems to be happening, except sort of combating fascism. But I mean, like, basically I don't sort of, like, trust any party. But all the same, I still believe that kids should vote.
Could I just ask you something? You said that the fascists are on the increasing, yes. And that presumably worries you, as it would worry me if I thought that were true.
Yeah.
But what would you do about that? Because it's a worrying thing if it's true.
Well, I can't really see sort of like much of a solution. But I mean, like, what we're doing as a group, in fact, is like, you know, like playing reggae on stage, like black music, which we like. And like, if people don't like it, you know, I mean, like, they won't go to our concerts, but generally people do. It's just like, you know, like provoking an interest, you know.
So that you think by doing this, which I think is, you know, I think is quite interesting, that this might have an effect. That in fact it might.
Sure.
Yeah. So that, and then what some politicians are doing in relation to the National Front, a few politicians that oppose it, attacking racialism, and that is likely to have an effect. So to be gloomy and say, well, you think the National Front are going to increase, they'll only increase if people like you and me and others don't have a go at them.
Yeah,
and
sure,
so
but
we
I mean,
don't need
like,
to be pessimistic. Then,
yeah, but by putting something down, it always sort of like increases an interest in it,
makes it stronger.
And it makes it stronger.
Well, I wonder if it does. You know, you see, I don't think they did so well in Ilford North when you consider all the fuss and bother.
I mean, they got almost exactly the same as the Liberals.
Yes, well, the Liberals did very badly, though. That's the point. Nobody's saying the Liberals did well. And when you consider that, as you say, they get a lot of publicity, the NF, far more than they merit. I don't think that they did do particularly well in Ilford, but I think I think you're absolutely right. One's got to have a go at them, and that's why I'm not as pessimistic as I think.
Well, I think more
many
than just
people
have
are.
a go at them, sort of like go full out, you know.
Yeah. Why does anyone think National Front have come through at the moment?
Because of the other parties.
Yeah.
Like everyone does. Nobody, particularly likes Liberals, Conservatives, Labour. So they think National Front are the only ones left to go for.
Right.
So
But what about the National Front that you think people like? Because most people don't like the National Front. So
yeah, well, there was this some bloke from Ilford, right? He said he'd changed from Conservative because he'd fought in the war.
Yeah.
For the kids
Against
to have
fascism.
jobs and everything. Yeah. And I mean, it's crazy. Like, their leader of the National Front, he idolises Hitler.
That's right.
And he's kind of fought in the war against fascism.
That's right, yeah. Well, if you can see that, I mean, don't you think that a lot of other people can see that too? I mean, it's an obvious one, as
I
you
I
say.
suppose some people are thicker than me.
Yeah, that's true. Some people are thicker than you, but
politics works on in 10 years and 15 years and 20 years in amounts of time like that. And young people, you say 10 years to a young person, you might as well say eternity. It just 10 years is too long for him to think about. He's thinking about what he's going to wear tonight or next week or whether he can go out with that girl or, you know what I mean? He's thinking in terms of half an hour. Has he got half an hour before he's got to go to work, you know? And politicians deal in, in 10 years we'll build a flat there. And it's just too long and young people just feel, they can't get into it.
So what do you think young people are going to do in years to come?
Get old.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But, do you think it's going to be a total disinterest in politics in the future?
I don't know, maybe I'll grow up to be Prime Minister.